You know, for many years before I really played DayZ, I thought it was a really shitty looking zombie game. But I wouldn't even put DayZ in the zombies genre, to be honest. The zombies are more like the salt and pepper sprinkled on top of the overall survival experience. What DayZ is really about, and what makes it stand out from the rest of the crowd, is its hardcore immersion. Every single item in the game has its own condition level, which goes from pristine, which is like mint, brand new, to worn, to damaged, to badly damaged, and then to ruined. If you have a water bottle in your pants pockets and you get shot in the leg, it could ruin that bottle and it could be completely unusable. Dude. Fuck. You'll need to repair your clothes using a sewing kit or duct tape. You can repair armor with epoxy. You can repair your boots with a leather sewing kit. You can repair your head torches and your scopes with an electric repair kit. You need to repair your guns and their magazines separately with a gun cleaning kit. If your magazine or your gun are in low condition, they can jam on you when you're in the middle of trying to shoot somebody. You can repair your cookingware like your pans or your pots with a blowtorch. You're going to need to take care of your hydration level. You can either find clean water from a water pump or a water spring. If you gather water from a pond or a creek, you're going to need to filter it with chlorine tablets, or you're going to have to boil the water over a fire to make it safe to drink. If you drink contaminated water, you're gonna get cholera, which is going to cause you to throw up every time you try to eat or drink something. For your hunger meter, there's 3 levels of losing calories. You'll lose the least amount of calories by not moving. When you start to walk around, you lose a little more calories. When you sprint, you'll lose the most amount of calories. So you want to be more mindful and pick and choose when you do and don't sprint, instead of just holding the sprint key the whole entire time. If you're playing a colder map and your temperature goes blue, you'll start to burn more calories than usual. All of your pieces of clothing have their own insulation levels, and you can have higher insulation if you keep those clothing repaired. Any food you may find, canned food, jarred food, is all going to be frozen. You have to defrost it over a fire. Any type of predator meat like wolves, bear meat are contaminated with parasites. If you're going to eat that meat, you need meds to go along with it. You can also get blood infections if you bandage with non-disinfected rags. If you're out in the cold for too long and your temperature stay blue for too long, you can catch a cold. Oh shit, I scared myself. You can break your leg from walking into a bear trap or falling from a height too high. You can craft a splint to put on your leg, which will make your leg heal in about 15 minutes. If you don't have a splint, it could take 30 to 40 minutes to heal. When your clothes are wet, you need to actually wring them out. Using a rangefinder can help you adjust the distance for your scopes to help you hit faraway targets. The longer you live as a male character, the more facial hair you'll grow out. All of your magazines for your guns need to actually be manually pulled out. They need to be manually packed with bullets and then manually put back in your gun, which you can all do without even going into your inventory. You can also find and use radios to communicate with other players on the map. Many people are going to be turned off by all of this and want to play something more simple, which is why I think Bohemia Interactive deserves some more credit for not changing the core of the game to chase the current trends to appeal to a wider audience. They seem to only be concerned with catering to their own niche player base. Some developers could learn a thing or two. Yeah, it's one of the main reasons I think DayZ continues to grow such a strong community even after so many years of release. People like me go to DayZ because it can offer us experiences that no other game can. What the fuck? Speaking of experiences that no other game can offer, it's ironic how this game can be referred to as a walking simulator while also being an adrenaline simulator. When you start out like a bum on the beach with nothing to your name but a rag, you will end up spending hours on going from literal rags to riches. I've had characters last up to 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 plus hours. That's around the average time it takes to complete an entire game. So when I'm hours in and I catch a glimpse of another player in the corner of my eye, or if I hear footsteps or a zombie aggro nearby, my heart starts thumping out of my chest like I just ran up a mountain. Sometimes my fingers will start shaking, all in anticipation of getting into a gunfight. All the time and effort I've committed into this character could all be wiped away in the blink of an eye. Every little decision you make counts, which is why I love the permadeath so much. Trust me though, getting over the fear of death will make this game a lot more fun for you. Unless you're minding your own business on a rooftop and get pushed by a team of 3.
Good morning, my guy. You killed him?
No, I got killed.
What?
Making teammates is also unlike most games. In other online games, you will just randomly get paired up with teammates. The game itself tells you, okay, these are your teammates, and there's nothing to gain by going against them, or you're just gonna lose with them. In DayZ, every player you encounter is organic, and just like real life, every person you meet is like rolling the dice. Loot is life. You pretty much have everything to lose by getting killed, and everything to gain by shooting someone in the chest. Somebody might even gain your trust just to get your guard down for an easy kill. But if you're willing to take the chance, you can meet some really cool and genuine survivors to go on journeys with, and eventually somebody will die, and you don't know if you're ever gonna run into that person ever again. You could run into them that same day, 3 days later, 3 months later, or never. That's one of the things that inspired me to start making videos of these encounters. The runs I have with random survivors are completely unique and can never be replicated by anyone else or even myself. So we talked about the hardcore immersion, we talked about the player interactions. The third and main reason why I think DayZ is so good, and I'm sorry console gamers, but it's the DayZ modding community is underrated. It seems like every couple of weeks there's a new map dropping, and it always feels like somewhat of an event. Even on playtests, these servers are filling up with queues. A lot of them offering something a little different, filling different playstyles. So just to name a few, there's Altaria, Bitterroot, New York, Hashima, Avalon, Deer Isle, Chimsey, Essaker, and even Deadfall, which has its own mission where you start out in a fall-colored environment where you must gather a gas mask and enough filters to make it through a giant toxic tunnel leading under a mountain where you must find a key card to make it out the other side, where it changes to winter time and you have to make it through a maze of skeletons and other monsters. I have a video where I attempt to do this solo, but I was never able to complete the mission. And of course, I can't forget about the fucking GOAT, Namalsk. When this map came out, it revolutionized DayZ by bringing cold survival mechanics and a winter aesthetic to the game. This actually sparked my interest to try DayZ because of my love for the long dark. It comes with all of its own lore and its own backstory. It has influences of the Stalker series like EVR storms and a supernatural teleportation orb. It's a bit on the smaller size for DayZ, and it's really good for running into other players and has a really good overall flow and progression. And that's a big reason why so many people like Namalsk so much. And I like that too, but personally, for me, the best part about it is the atmosphere. The harsh and brutal freezing cold fits the overall tone of an apocalyptic survival simulator better than anything else. As you pass through an old playground and empty classrooms, you hear the remnants of the past children who used to play and attend here. While an EVR storm is cooking, you hear the sounds of children's laughter with bare feet running around behind you. It makes me wonder if it's actually their spirits lingering after losing their lives to the infection. I really love that feeling of mystery and wonder. What glues together the entire tone of the map is the custom soundtrack made by an artist named Bubson. It's amazing just how damn good it fits the overall dark and depressing, yet sometimes hopeful and beautiful tone of surviving the apocalypse on a freezing cold wasteland. It still blows my mind that this was made for a mod. So everything from the mechanics to the aesthetics to the sound design to the lore to the soundtrack, it's all just so well done. There's also a ton of different servers to play. Maybe you like the more closer to vanilla style, but you want admins, and maybe you just want some quality of life mods. I'd recommend like Day 1 for that, and maybe Karma Crew. There was a Walking Dead server where there was a bunch more zombies than usual, and they walked slower, but they walked in giant hordes. There's hardcore servers like Intense, which features a whole skill tree with different perks to unlock, a really in-depth medical system. There's more injuries and illnesses added. There's a sleep meter and a mental health meter you have to maintain. It does feature PvP, but it's really good if you're more into like the immersive role play survival kind of thing where you just want to like build a base and just live off the land. There's Barbaresia, where you spawn in the freezing cold with all of your clothes badly damaged, all super low insulation. You can't find a sewing kit, you have to craft one with animal hide and a metal fishing hook. There's all kinds of unique mutants. There's cold fronts, there's giant bombs, there's fetched quests, there's hordes, there's a panic attack mechanic. When players die, they become zombies. It also features a dog mod where you can tame a dog and have the dog kill zombies for you. There's also horses that you can ride. There's different kinds of RP servers. There's a Stalker RP server where they have the entire original map from the original games with a ton of Stalker assets. There's a deathmatch server. There's an Escape from Tarkov extraction shooter server. There's a whole Fallout server being developed with its own map and a bunch of Fallout assets to go along with it. There's even a Jurassic Park server. Oh God. Oh God. Oh shit. Oh, I'm stuck. What the f— So overall, DayZ, especially on PC, caters to a lot of different play styles. I love being able to try new maps and new servers and all kinds of new stuff all the time. The devs are still putting out updates. They're currently working on a brand new official map coming out in 2026, and they've never officially announced it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say there's gonna be a DayZ 2. Now, it's probably years away, but I think it'll happen eventually. Anyways, that is all the main reasons why I think DayZ is so good, why it's still thriving all these years later, and why it has a bright future ahead of it. This video was kind of aimed at people that haven't really ever gotten into DayZ, that maybe they don't understand it the same way that I used to not really get it. But if you are a player and you watched all the way through, if you think there's something really interesting about DayZ that I didn't mention, feel free to leave it below, and thank you for watching.